So this story is about how I nearly got scammed by some car dealers. Okay. So I sold my old car. It was giving me a lot of headache here and there, breaking down. Today I'm changing this, tomorrow I'm changing this. I got bored. I got tired. I'm a woman. Today I'm calling my husband. Please come pick the car from here. Can we change this? So I said, okay, let me sell this car. And probably I'll get something small that could just take me and bring me home safely. I sold this car, and God being so good, someone bought it who was so in love with the car and bought it. I said, glory be to God. So I got this money and I was ready. But what I did not factor into this whole deal is that things had become so expensive, very expensive. Inflation was skyrocketing. And the money I had couldn't even afford the car I've just sold, or even a lesser one. So I needed a deal. I needed somewhere I could deposit this money, get the car, and kind of get a deal whereby I can pay in installment for like 3 to 6 months. So I started checking online. I checked other sites and all, and I landed on this site called tonaton.com. Now they have all sorts of cars. Like almost every day people are posting cars and all that. So I said to myself, good. And I saw this Honda Civic and I liked it. I liked it, the price, not too good, but it's okay. And I called the dealer. I said, I saw this car online and I wanted to check if it's available. And the voice at the other end was very enthusiastic. I said, oh yes, I have it. It belonged to my wife and I'm selling it and all that. So, okay, good. Okay, how much is your last price? And he mentioned the amount. Now I can afford what I have. It's like 70% of what the man is offering. So I said to him, okay. After negotiating online, I said, okay, I needed to see the car. I'll let my mechanic or test it and all that. And I said, okay, good. I'll pay you 70% of it. I want you to give me 3 months. And 3 months, I'll be able to raise the rest. We'll just write some notes and receipts. And you can keep the car papers. When I finish paying, I'll take the car papers. And I said, okay, let me talk to my wife about this and I'll get back to you. So he called me the next day and said, okay, my wife had agreed. And what work do you do? I said, oh, I'm a minister of the gospel. I preach. And he said, okay, my wife has agreed. And so let's meet. And there was this very popular school in a suburb in Accra called Dansoman, Ave Maria. So he said, okay, let's meet here. And you will take a look at it and we'll do payments and all that. So I asked my husband to escort me to the place. And that day, the kids did not go to school. And the whole house, there was so many responsibilities. For some reason, he didn't want to go with me. And so I called a young man I know that usually he has a taxi that takes me around and do rounds. And I said, okay, I want you to escort me to go look at this car. And he said, okay, we'll go. So we went. Now, on my way going, I prayed about it. I asked God. But before the whole deal began, I think 3 days to the time that I'll chance upon that car, something amazing happened. I was doing my morning devotion. I was in prayer. And I had a Lord said to me, I want you to fast for the next 3 days without food. Just live on water. And so my lifestyle of prayer is such that I spend a lot of time in prayer. So when you go off from food, sometimes you are low on energy. After hearing the voice of God, I decided by myself that, okay, I'm going to do a 12-hour fast instead of the 24-hour. I was going to do a 12-hour for the next 3 days. I'll do 6 to 6, then I'll eat, and I'll be able to pray. When I did the first day and I broke the fast at 6 p.m., my spirit was troubled. I felt troubled in my spirit. I knew that I had disobeyed the Holy Spirit. So I prayed for forgiveness and he forgave me, and I decided to do the 3 days. So I started, instead of Monday, I started on a Tuesday. Then when I finished the fast, the Lord asked me to go see a father in ministry and just sow a seed. Now, when I heard I was supposed to sow a seed to a father in ministry, I really didn't like the idea because one, the money I had to buy the car is not even enough. My account is red and I'm scrambling to see if I could get money. I'm not getting it. Now I have to go sow a seed out of the same money. So instead of disobeying the Holy Spirit, I decided that, okay, look, I'm just going to obey. So I went to the bank, took what I was supposed to sow, and I went to see this father. He didn't know why I came. I went to see him and he prayed for me and I left. So on my way back to the story of me going to see the car dealer, on my way going, quietly as I sat at the back of the car, the Spirit of God just whispered to me, there are 3 things I want you to ask this young man. If he failed even one, don't transact any business with him. I said, okay. Number 1, the number he's using to call you, try sending money to it, like a mobile money. Try sending money. If the name that popped up is a female name, don't deal with him. I tried it and a female name popped up. I said, oh my God. Then the second instruction came. Make sure, tell him to bring the car to you wherever you are and hand over the key to you before you do any payment. If he does not, don't make any payment. Thirdly, tell him you don't deal in cash. You only do bank transaction. If he says no, don't do it. So these 3 things were at the back of my mind. I went and met this man, an elderly man, very respectable. He asked one of his boys to take me to the garage. We went to look at the car, and the garage had only one car. That was the car I was looking at. And I looked at it. There were 3 guys there. They took me around with my driver that I went with. We checked it, and the driver also checked and said, oh, it's a good car and all. That's okay. Let's go see the man. So we left where the car was parked to this popular school I spoke of, Ave Maria, and went to see the man. We sat down. And after talking with him and everything, I said, okay, I want to see the car papers. But when we went to look at the car, I took a photo of the chassis number. And so I said, I wanted to look at the document of the car. And he brought me a certain document. When I looked at it and I compared it to the chassis number that I had on my phone, it was different. So immediately, my spirit was troubled. I said, this man is up to something. So as soon as I looked at it, I said, no, sir, the chassis number of the car I looked at is different from what you're showing me. Do you have other cars? He said, oh yes, I made a mistake. I had other cars and I have this and that and that. That's why I'm giving you, I'm sorry. He sent the boy to go bring the original document and they brought it. I checked. It was okay. I said, okay, I would like to do the 70%. Bring the document. Let's sign. He had already drafted everything. That's okay. Let them bring the car to this place, from the garage to this place, before any transaction. He said, oh, we can't do that. We really can't do that because what about if you are bringing the car and something happened? I was like, what are you talking about? Of course you are going to drive the car. Why would something happen? Would you want me to do payments to you and go back there and pick it up? He said, oh, that's how we do it. I said, no, I can't do that. And they said, okay. I wouldn't be able to bring the car. But I think you are being too difficult. I said, I'm not being difficult. I'm being meticulous. This is money. This is a car. And anything can happen. So I want to see. Bring the car. Then he said, okay, they will do that. But as for him, he doesn't do bank transaction. He only do cash. Immediately, all the red flags, it checked. As I said, you asked me the work I do, and I said I was a preacher of the gospel. He said, yes. He said, did you ask me the type of preacher I am? He said, I don't know. I said, before you even planned it, the Lord has showed me who you are. You want to steal from me. Then the man just flipped the whole script. You are a very difficult woman. You are a very, very difficult woman. You are the only person that is difficult. We should bring the car. We should bring this document and all that. And it was all over the place. And I don't want to sell it. As I said, I also don't want to buy. Then I left. So I sounded the taxi and we left. And the taxi driver was like, this man could be a fraudster. I said, not could be, he is. Do you know when we left and we came back home, Exactly the following day, there was news all over on TV that the same place that I went, they sold a car to someone. Apparently they had a spare key of the car, so when the guy parked the car, they went back to take the car from him. I just thank God for obedience. I thank God for hearing his voice, not leaving me. I wouldn't know how I would have recovered from this, but God in his mercies, hearing the voice of God is one important thing, that a believer can't live without, because without the voice of God, there is nothing that you have. You can plan, you can do everything. The same place that the Lord rescued me, somebody fell victim. I just want to share this story to encourage someone. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Prophet Samuel quoted that too. So obedience is better than sacrifice. To obey the Lord, fast for these 3 days, it prepared me ahead. So they said, it paid ahead of time. Without an explanation, the Lord was leading me. And this was a grand scheme. After everything was said and done, then I remembered that I had a dream. That in the dream, I was on a highway to church. But instead of driving, everyone was driving, I was walking barefooted on the ground. And when I got a bit far off, I saw certain women that has held their hand and crossed the road that they won't allow me to pass. I remembered that dream, and I knew that the devil purposed it, but God always would deliver. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver him all from all of it. Not some, but all of it. I pray for you that whatever conspiracy of evil against your life, the Lord will deliver you and set you right. You are blessed and highly favored. Now that's my story. Please share this. Let someone know that God is doing amazing things on this channel. My name is Akuwaa. I am an oracle of God. I speak the mind of God as the Holy Spirit inspires me. You have a very blessed day. I love you. Bye-bye.